There is one main reason why Donald Trump pays little to nothing in taxes while other people pay far more in taxes. We'll get into that in a moment, but my name is Merrill Taylor. I am a CPA. I specialize in helping high-income individuals making 7 figures or more save 5 to 6 figures or more in taxes per year. And we do this through special tax strategies that are completely ethical and legal in the tax law. Now, the reason why Donald Trump pays little to nothing in taxes, and he does it legally, is because the tax code is set up in specific ways to help people save money on taxes, and Donald Trump just happens to know how to use the tax code to save money on taxes. The reality is there are different ways of earning money. You can earn money as an employee. You can earn money as a self-employed individual. You can earn money as a business owner, and you can earn money as an investor. You might recognize this. This is the 4 quadrants that Robert Kiyosaki talks about, the 4 quadrants of ways to make money. And all 4 of those quadrants are taxed differently under the tax code. Employees happen to be taxed at one of the highest rates because employment income and wage income is taxed at higher rates than investment income is. So you have employees that are taxed higher. Self-employed people are actually taxed higher than employees because they have to pay their own self-employment tax. Employees have employment taxes paid by an employer. Self-employed pay their own employment tax, so they pay a higher tax bracket than even employees. You have business owners. Business income is generally subject to normal tax rates as well and higher tax rates. But then you run into this very specialized category called investment, and investors get the treatment of investment income. This would be like real estate income. The reason why Donald Trump pays little to no taxes is because he uses the tax code under the real estate rules. When you own real estate, there is a rule that allows you to depreciate that real estate. So let's say that you bought a $1 million piece of real estate. There's a special section of the tax code that allows you to do a cost segregation study. And if you are a real estate professional, or if you buy the right type of real estate and you have the right type of activity inside that real estate, you can get a deduction sometimes of 30 to 40%. So if you bought a $1 million piece of real estate, you could potentially get a $300,000 to $400,000 write-off in the year that you buy that real estate using cost segregation studies and active participation inside that real estate. Depending on the type of real estate that's bought, it can yield that. And the great thing about this is that real estate can be bought with debt. So what happens is you go and buy a $1 million property, you might have to put a little bit of money down, but the tax savings, the tax deductions you would get, the $300,000 to $400,000 deduction that you would get on that, would far outweigh the cash that you have to put into it. That's how Donald Trump basically is able to zero out his taxes. He can go buy $1 million or a $100 million building, completely finance that building so he has little to no money out of his pocket, do a cost segregation study that allows him to take these deductions that year that he buys it, and basically offset income from his other investments or whatever else he has going on. And there are a number of ways that you can do this in the tax code. Real estate is a great method of doing it. There are other things such as oil and gas investments and other sorts of investments. You can invest in certain businesses, and as long as you're active in that business, you can get a deduction that comes through from that. And so that's how basically the tax code is structured, that when you are an employee, you get employment income, you're going to pay higher rates on that. If you're an investor and get investment income, you're going to pay lower rates on that. So it would make sense then that you would structure your affairs in a way that would allow you to take advantage of the tax code. That's what like millionaires and billionaires do. They recognize there is a difference in the tax code. Now you could sit around and say, well, that's not fair. They should just change the tax code to let employees and self-employed save money on taxes. Well, that's like, thinking that someone else should solve your problem, right? So if you've got a problem, you feel like you're overpaying on taxes, then you look for the solution. And right now the solution is the tax code treats different income differently. And so if you put yourself into that bucket, put yourself into that area, then you will get the tax savings just like Donald Trump and just like other investors do. It's often talked about why Warren Buffett's secretary pays a higher effective tax rate than Warren Buffett. That's because Warren Buffett's secretary is an employee and pays taxes at employee rates, while Warren Buffett is an investor and pays taxes at investor rates. So if you're someone who feels like you're overpaying on taxes and you'd like to save money on taxes, then put yourself in that investor area, and that will help you to reduce taxes and save money that way. And if you would like to get a newsletter and get continual updates, go to our website, taxtutor.com. You can sign up for our weekly newsletter where we send out tax updates and tax strategies to help people save money on taxes.